We gotta ask the only woman here then, and every woman after this. But it's like the Roman Empire question. How often do you think about sex a day then?
Every moment of every day.
I've never asked you this question either.
I don't know. So it's funny you said that you feel like girls are hornier when they're like in a relationship and they're with their partner. I definitely feel that way, but I feel like it's when you're like in the most like you're at the most passionate part of your relationship and like you're in the honeymoon. So you kind of like tend to have sex a lot more. And then like the longer you date, it's not as great as it was in the beginning. I want to say with like how much you're having sex.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I definitely, I mean, if we're being real, I mean,
Yeah.
I definitely feel like people who live with their significant other, like, you know, you live with a girl and, but you usually, and it's crazy because when we moved in together, I'm like, oh, I'm about to have sex all the time, you know, all over this place, you know, and it's just, the reality is it really isn't like that.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I feel like we were, I mean, regardless of the honeymoon phase, but I feel like even when we were out of the honeymoon phase and we didn't live together, I feel like we had more sex than we did
Yeah.
when we were living together.
So now that we don't live together, our time together is so much more intentional.
For sure.
Because I think when we were living together, we would be on a lot of different frequencies too. Because I work remote and he'd come from work out, and like we're on different vibes, different sleep schedules. Like it just wasn't aligning as much.
That's definitely spot on.
Yeah.
I feel like when you live with somebody, I mean, even when you have like a roommate, like it's just, you know, it's
Becomes normalized.
right. So, you know, like she said, I mean, I would come home from work, you know, I was out, you know, at work all day. She works remote and she's at home. Her energy is different than mine. So, you know, sometimes, you know, I come home and we're at different frequencies. And when you live with somebody, I mean, that changes a lot, you know? Sometimes you're probably not on the same energy all the time.
Yeah.
But
Like
when
I
you-
would be like more energetic at the end of the night, and he'd be like
Right.
less.
But when
Or
you
like right when he came home, he's really energetic. And I'm like, whoa, chill, dude.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
And
Yeah,
then,
yeah.
and then obviously, like, you know, when you don't live with somebody and, you know, you haven't seen them for a few days or whatever, and once you start talking again, or not talking, but once you decide to meet up again, it's a lot more passionate, you know?
It's like that distance makes the heart grow fonder.
I
That's
was just
sure.
about to say that.
That's that,
100%.
that kind
it
of
definitely
thing.
does. It definitely
Yeah.
does.
Because there's like anticipation, right? You kind of like, oh, I'm about to see my girl.
Yes.
It's been
Yeah.
a couple of days. I can't wait to like
Yeah.
hug her.
It
and then
makes
hug-
the energy go up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's that
Right.
anticipation that builds up that you just more excited to see them.
For sure. And it's crazy that we're talking about this because I feel like when I go see her now, I dress up a lot more. Or I try to look a lot better.
Right.
You know?
You ever
Make
hit
sure
him
you're
with?
clean.
Do you ever hit him with the who you trying to look all cute for?
Oh, of course. I always say that.
I know,
too.
she always
I
says
always say
that.
Who you trying to look all cute for?
Yeah.
But you know what's
She's like, why are you doing your hair going to the gym?
that. I do the same thing.
But you know what people say? They say good relationships, the courtship never ends. And I think when you're mentioning living together, that's where, I mean, then again, I've been single for a very long time, but I feel like that's where a lot of relationships they say don't go well, because then once they start living together, they don't court each other anymore. They kind of, oh, well, they're like my roommate, not my significant other.
Right.
Right.
So it
Yeah.
goes kind of downhill from there.
Right. Well,
Right.
also when you start living with somebody, you see how they live.
Yeah.
You know, you're with them, you're sharing space. So all of their ugly and their, you know, their negatives, you're seeing all that, you know?
Yeah.
And I just wanted to note in this podcast that yeah, we don't live together, but we're getting ready to buy a house soon. So we will be living back together soon.
Let's go.
Don't want to put our whole relationship and sex
Yeah.
life on blast.